What if I told you the biggest story in world football right now is not coming from Brazil, not from Argentina, not from France. It's coming from a tiny group of islands that most football fans cannot even find on a map. 600,000 people. No billion-dollar league, no superstar academy, no history of winning anything. And yet, they are standing at the FIFA World Cup 2026, face to face with the giants of football. This is the most impossible story in sports history, and the world almost forgot to tell it. Cabo Verde's impossible dream. Most people cannot find Cabo Verde on a map. It is a collection of 10 volcanic islands sitting 570 kilometers off the coast of West Africa. No rivers, no forests, barely any flat land to even build a proper football pitch. The islands were uninhabited until Portuguese explorers discovered them in 1456. For centuries used as a trading post and later as a stop in the transatlantic slave trade. This tiny nation carries 500 years of pain in its history, but somewhere inside that pain, football became the language of survival. Children played barefoot on rocky ground, on streets so narrow 2 cars could barely pass, with balls made of plastic bags and tape. Because in Cabo Verde, football was never just a game, it was the only dream they had. And when the world was busy talking about Brazil's magic, Argentina's passion, Germany's mentality, a generation of Cabo Verdeans quietly refused to accept their limits. They refused to be invisible. Let me put this into perspective for you. Brazil has 215 million people to choose players from. France, 68 million. England, 56 million. Cabo Verde has 600,000. That is smaller than the city of Portland, Oregon, smaller than Leeds in England, smaller than almost every football nation on earth. And yet, in the 2026 World Cup qualification campaign, they did something that stunned the entire continent of Africa. They defeated nations with 10 times their population. They played with a hunger that larger nations had forgotten, and they refused, absolutely refused, to give up. When the final whistle blew on their qualification match, the streets of the capital Praia erupted. People were crying. Old men who had never seen their country at a World Cup were on their knees, because this was not just a football result. This was 600,000 people telling the world, we exist. We matter, and we are coming. But here is where the story gets really interesting. Cabo Verde has a secret that makes them far more dangerous than their size suggests. Diaspora. Hundreds of thousands of Cabo Verdeans left the islands generations ago. They settled in Portugal, in France, in the Netherlands, in the United States, and their children, born in Europe, grew up playing football in proper academies, with proper coaching, against proper competition. So, when Cabo Verde needed players, they did not just look at their tiny islands, they looked across the entire world. Their squad is built from players who grew up in Lisbon, Paris and Amsterdam, players who speak Portuguese, French and Dutch, players who have competed in the top leagues of Europe. This is not a team of barefoot island boys anymore. This is a team forged across 2 continents, united by one tiny flag and one impossible dream, and that is what makes them dangerous. Football history has taught us one thing: never ignore the small teams, because every World Cup has a shock, every single one. 2002, South Korea reached the semi-finals 2010. Ghana nearly made the last four 2022. Morocco defeated Belgium, Spain, and Portugal. Entire nations that nobody believed in became legends overnight. So what happens if Cabo Verde gets that one result, that one giant killing moment on the biggest stage in the world? The big nations will prepare for Brazil. They will study Mbappe, Ronaldo, Vinicius Jr. They will prepare for everyone they fear, but nobody will be fully prepared for Cabo Verde. Because underdogs have nothing to lose, and a team with nothing to lose, and everything to prove, is the most dangerous thing in football. There is a word in Cabo Verdean culture. The word is saudade. It means a deep longing, a beautiful sadness for something you love but cannot reach. For generations, the people of Cabo Verde felt saudade every time they watched the World Cup on television, wondering, dreaming, wishing they could be there. In 2026, they will not be watching on television. They will be on the pitch, under the lights, in front of the entire world. Maybe they won't have the most expensive players. Maybe they won't have the biggest stadiums. Maybe the world still doesn't know their names, but every football legend started as someone nobody believed in, because football was never made only for giants. It was made for dreamers. 600,000 people, one flag, one dream, one chance to show the entire world that the size of your nation means nothing, only the size of your heart. This is Cabo Verde, and their story is only just beginning.